Right, we're good to go.
Okay, everybody. Everybody, this huge room that we have. Thank you very much. Just mainly for the audience, thank you very much for coming. I know it's a public holiday, and it certainly wasn't our intention to have this on a public holiday, but we do as we do because we like to have this routinely on the third Thursday of every month.
Fourth.
I get this wrong every single time. Fourth Thursday of every month. We start usually at 5:30 for a 6 o'clock start. The purpose of the evenings basically is for businesses to have a safe environment to be able to network. And that is usually to meet somebody you haven't met, or in my case, it's just to meet people that I only see that once a month. So for me, it's a very good way of just remaining in touch with friends and with business colleagues. The purpose of the evening is to network, but also is to hear from new business people or existing business people with new ideas. So usually as a tagline, as I'm presenting you this idea, this is what I would like back from you. And that could be networking, that could be sales advice, marketing advice, there could be advice from how do I take my product to the next level. I think we've had those sort of discussions before. So it's very safe environment. We thank very much the bowling club, the Jindabyne Bowling Club, for sponsoring this room, and also they usually put a couple of bevies on for us, which is nice. Again, they believe in what we're doing. Tonight we've got two speakers. One speaker is an old timer. I shouldn't say that really. He's an old guy.
Bet that, Tom. I'd object to that.
I can say that with Tom. I'm ageless. I am absolutely ageless. Tom's absolutely got a fantastic product, which most of us will be surprised. And anybody who has a shed needs one of these things. Yep. And then we've also got Gabby, who is responsible for iAccelerate, which is a program in association with Wollongong University. Basically is to take small ideas, make them big, and help businesses plan out their scope. So perhaps one thing we can talk is with Tom and how to grow his business, because he's got clients.
I don't want to grow the
It's already grown it. He'd been there another.
You might hear that very often, but the last thing I want to do is employ people, pay rent, bloody.
Well, to start off with, Tom, can I invite you to talk to everybody about your product?
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, listening to this, demonstrate it.
Oh, nice.
Can I help you there? Can I hold it up for you?
Yeah. You hold top here, the top there. Basically what it is, it's a,
Other way,
it's basically a block and tackle. They've been around since the Phoenicians sailed across the Mediterranean. Where this one is different in a number of ways. The one is, instead of having flat road, we went for webbing because it's a hell of a lot easier on your hands if it does happen to run back, which is what it shouldn't do. And it's a lot easier when you're lifting it. Now, it only works with a slight load on it. So what you can do with it, you can lift, hang on there, I'm pulling, right? You can drop it to anywhere you want, and when you've got enough load on it, it locks.
Yes.
And it locks, and it is a very, very good lock. It locks like that. It's hard without having it. Now, once it locks, the way this lock is built, it's on a wedge-shaped cavity in the locking pool that, as this goes back, once it engages with that, it keeps pulling this back and wedging it between the bottom of the pool and those two rollers. So when you want to let it down, all you have to do is, first of all, if it's locked, is pull down, and that will bring your lock back, disengage it, and then you hold it back. It's easy to do it by just
and it just,
and that takes the load back to the ground, locks where you want it to.
Beautiful.
Simple,
Lightweight.
Lightweight.
I sell them for everything. It's amazing what people use it for.
Yeah.
And hunters are a big buyers of it because of lifting carcasses and so forth.
Yeah.
Butchers.
Yep.
You know, farm butchers, people who go around butchering on farms,
Yep.
they buy them off me. Look, it's just vets buy them off me for instances where they have to deliver calves that are breech births and so forth. They use them. A lot of vets say that they're the best on the market. They can pay up to $1,000 to buy surgical ones. And people were lifting their roof tents off their trucks. People for lifting wheelchairs, they set them up that they can sit in their vehicle and lift the wheelchair up and throw it out onto the roof of the vehicle. That's very good Velcro, by the way. Use it for, they're always surprising me with the various things that they use them for.
What's the rated to?
150 is the safety rating on it. They've lifted a hell of a lot heavier.
1.5 tonnes.
Sorry?
150 kilos or
150 kilos. It's been tested by Beaver in Sydney to 1.2 tonnes and never gave. But obviously one person operating at a 4-to-1 ratio, you wouldn't want to be trying to handle 1.2 tonne. So, well, first of all, you've got to be able to apply a quarter of that, so you'd have to be able to put 300 kilos of lift on it to.
Okay.
You could have more than one too, right? You could put one on every corner of something and have four of them.
One of the best group that I sell to is garage door installers.
Yeah.
And I'm in the process of actually putting together and marketing a complete new product for lifting garage doors up with.
Doors. Yeah.
And just finding the time. And these days you've got you've got a nation to do these things.
How much does it cost, Tom?
$149.94.
That's cheap.
Sounds like a project.
That is cheap.
It's,
Yeah.
I think it's reasonable. I may have to
$1 a kilo.
$1
That's cheap. In anyone's language.
I sell them, you know, I've had a couple of them. The guy unfortunately passed away not long ago, a friend of mine who had muscular dystrophy. But when he started to, he had a farm, and when his legs and everything started to go, I gave him one, and he got a friend to make him up a harness.
Yeah.
And he had a little tractor that he used to get the
Oh, yeah,
farm,
yeah.
and he had that in the shed. He used to always park his tractor, one of those little
Yeah.
four-wheel
Buggy
drive.
type things, yeah.
He used to park it there, fit the harness around his shoulder, hook it on, and lift himself out
Pull himself up.
into his wheelchair.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you sell these in different parts of the world as well, don't you?
But it's amazing where I've got them. There's a number of them in Finland. Take it there, reindeer shooters or something. Ireland, England, America.
Yeah.
Sold one to a bloke at what's the Johnny Cash prison? Stuck in Folsom. I sold one to a bloke in lived in Folsom. I sell quite a few into New Zealand.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks for that, Tom.
Yeah, so we're on the internet. We're
Yeah, I saw you've got quite a following on Facebook. There's like 20,000 followers on there. That's awesome. Uh-huh.
20,000?
Yes.
Facebook's got a bit funny at the moment.
Oh, a bit funny.
So your thoughts on presenting this? Do you want help in any aspect of it, or you just more
I
sales, or
have
you want
done
help in
the whole
your
damn
next product?
I I have done the whole thing. Who was the guy you might know that invented the table?
The table.
Yeah, the table, the carpentry table.
Yeah.
And he sold it out to Stanley for
Oh, the Triton table?
Triton.
Yep.
Triton.
Yep, got one of those.
And he sold it to Stanley for something like $35 million. And they took the name, the whole thing off him. And he's a funny bloke, he's almost a hippie. And he decided that he had such a battle to get his product on the market,
Yeah.
that he set up a thing called the Triton Foundation in conjunction with the Queensland government.
Yeah.
And if you lived in Queensland, it was free, but if you like me, lived outside Queensland, you had to pay for it. And they gave me all this stuff, and I learned a hell of a lot of them. I went through it, and I knew right from the beginning when they told me all these problems I would encounter, I knew that I wasn't going to encounter them. I hit every one of them.
Without fail.
Peter over there, he'll tell you the problems of getting something to market.
Yeah.
And, you know, you've got to have a product that enough people want.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to manufacture it reasonably cheaply and simply. Simplicity in your manufacturing is very, very, you've just got to be able to assemble it in. And you've got to get those, and then the hard part starts when you go to market. And I think I started on Facebook. I used to go around field days.
Yeah.
And it was going quite well. I was selling quite a few. It was getting a bit of a sort of a brand image type thing. But someone said I go on Facebook. I went on Facebook and I really hit it. Just as Facebook marketing took off. But it's starting to. But look, I don't really care.
You're just hoping to sell it for 35 million.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to buy a business, then you got
35 million. Well, I've got 4 girls.
Build a heritage centre or something.
They're all in good jobs. They've all got good superannuation. What I want 35 million. But it's a really interesting exercise in going through with the whole thing.
Well, that's probably a great segue. So, Gabby.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. So, do they work for children? Like, perhaps string them up and just leave them
Well,
suspended
you
when they're being naughty?
You're going
No one's
to be
admitted to it. That's what they do.
Right, there's an idea. Yeah, so what I'm doing, we're bringing the iAccelerate program called RISE to this area in October. It's an 8-week program. It's fully funded by the government, the state and federal government.
I was going to say, yeah, which one's paid for this time? That's good.
Yeah,
Both of them. That's awesome.
And they funded it to assist in bushfire recovery and economic resilience. So basically, this is a program that's run out of the incubator accelerator division of the University of Wollongong called iAccelerate. And they've been running it there for a very long time. So now they've got the funding to take it to different regions. So I've just done Bateman's Bay I did an 8-week program there. I just finished up the one at Mossvale, the Wingecarribee region. And the next one is Queanbeyan and Snow Narrow. So it'll be starting in October. And the way the program works is you work with a cohort of people, so people from the same region go and apply to come on the program. And you go through, and in the 8 weeks that we work together, you work out what your value proposition is. So your ideal customer and the problems that you're solving and how your solution solves them. And then you start to talk to your customers as well. You learn how to interview your customers so that you can understand the words that they use and the way they like to communicate, and then also get feedback on your product or your service so that you can modify it and change it. And then you also work on the business model to work out whether or not it's viable, so you'll be able to make money from it as a business. And then the second part of the program, we work together on you create a pitch. So everything that you've learnt about your customer, you then put it into designing a 3-minute pitch. And so a lot of the businesses that I've worked with, they're doing the pitch to get new customers, or it might be to get a partnership, or it might be to get funding. So most of the businesses that I've worked with so far, they're very, very early stage. They just have an idea or an inkling of an idea. And sometimes by doing the program, they realise, wow, they change their idea into something, they pivot. So they pivot really early on, and then they do something that's going to be a lot more profitable or successful for them. And the record was someone did that in the very first session. He was like this robotics, AI, I couldn't even understand what he was talking about, you know, when he was talking about his business. And then from that first discussion, he changed, he said, right, now I'm going after the education, and I'm going to build these robots that work in school, so it's all hosted in the cloud and blah, blah. Anyway, and he actually came up with this great pitch to explain all of that and got it done in 8 weeks. So the value of it is that you're working with all these other people who are doing the same thing at the same time. So people find that keeps them accountable, keeps them motivated, and they get this like really great peer network. And the other benefit is you get to spend time with me, which is like a massive bonus. Together every week on Zoom or in person. Yeah, and it's been really successful. And it's not the kind of thing that you need to have everything all worked out. It's great for people who feel like they need some support. They might need, a lot of people when they started have felt that they couldn't explain their values succinctly. So they come on the program, and so they have developed lots of confidence by the end that anyone asks them, what is it, what do you do? If they're in an elevator with someone who could potentially be a great fit for their business or a partner, they can just go boom, 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 and just nail what value they provide and how they do it. So yeah, and then all of that, depending on the business, it might feed into their messaging or their website or their much bigger things as well. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
Sounds good.
Have any questions about it?
Where were you 20 years ago?
Don't answer that, Gabby.
Sorry?
There's a Queanbeyan and the Stone Arrow.
Yeah, so there's 2 separate regions, so depending on...
Megan Kuma, is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in Cooma, but apparently if most people who apply and accept in the program are in Jindabyne, we might try and do it in Jindabyne.
Oh, right.
It's all going to depend on where all the applications come from.
Yes.
At the moment, the plan will be the 2 face-to-face weeks will be held at the Country University Centre in Cooma.
Yeah.
And then the rest will obviously be virtually. It is for the Snowy Monaro region on its own, and then Queanbeyan Powering will be running on their own. We're just having the launch. So the information sessions, the 2 30-minute information sessions, both Queanbeyan Powering and Snowy Monaro residents can
Online.
both
Yeah.
come because it's online for 30 minutes on either the 10th of October or the 11th of October. That's
Okay.
just information, and that'll be the Eurobadala participants that have just finished, giving their little, this is what happened, how they felt it going, and things like that.
Yeah.
And any other information, I've got some flyers for you, but Gabby?
Oh, they've had I'll give you examples of some of the businesses. Is that interesting to know what they want?
Sure.
So the ones that we just did, so they had their final pitch this week. So one had a handcrafted ceramic business. The one who was the robotic AI. Another one was creating an escape room. That one was very interesting. The way he told that story.
I'm going to shut the door.
Oh yeah. Oh, did you see it?
I've seen,
Yeah.
I saw a couple of them, and I liked that one.
He was great at his
Yeah.
pitch. Yeah, he worked really. And it's so funny what they start with at the pitch. So we work on the pitch for a few weeks, and what they start with is very different to what they end with, because they're getting so much feedback from everyone. So people are listening, going, "No, you lost me there. Oh no, that's not so interesting. Oh, that's where you really got me." Another one, a woman, is called Grand Stories, where she records the life story of someone like yourself or your parent or grandparent, and she has, like a whole setup for a professional recording, transcription. Yeah, hers was a very emotional pitch. It was amazing. Someone who has a mother's group at midnight.
Oh, wow.
Podcast. She was pitching for sponsors to sponsor her already successful podcast.
Goodness.
Who else do we have? I've got to just grab my calendar.
Yeah.
Who some of the others were.
You said that on their not-for-profits possibly as well. How does that work?
So, or someone who was creating art products. So at the beginning, she was very much like, "Oh, so what's different about what you do?" She goes, "Oh, it's made by me." No, we had to work on that.
Yeah.
So, and so she was making these sustainable, recyclable art products. That was really good. A guy who's created an app called Pocket Host, which is like Lonely Planet in your pocket for hosts, so that people could access all the local stuff that's happening and it will all feed in real time. Someone who had a farm stay that she was going to use for location scouts to be photography sessions. The honey thief made all home, like she has hives and makes all these amazing flavoured honeys and cough syrups and things like that. We learnt through her there that honey is very adulterated, the ones that you buy from the shops, which is terrible, like all the syrup and everything, even when they say 100% honey. So that was good. What else? Yeah, so such different things. Someone who had a marketing business, someone who had a wine business, someone who sourced sustainable building materials, someone who had an icing business, like a cake business, and she was going to do kids' parties. Yeah, so they're just examples of, from that region, such different businesses, and some of them turned up with, they didn't have a business plan, they didn't have anything, they just had an idea. And others were, others were a lot further along and had investors and had worked with professional marketing teams and done pictures but still they both
Question everything.
They both got so much value out of it. Like he was just, his business, he was just saying this was invaluable.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I think it's the peer thing of working with so many people together, how much because when you speak, everyone's focusing on you and your business. And it's a great process. It's well worth doing if you know anyone that you think could get a bit of a boost in their business, like whatever it is that they're working on, because they leave on a high, basically. Feel really affirmed and really like, yeah, I know what I'm doing next, I'm going to do that. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I would highly encourage anyone to come to the info session, but this is kind of like
the
info session, really. Did anyone have any questions?
Sounds amazing.
One thing I wanted to say is, my advice to anyone that's trying to build a business, all this type of thing is, I learned this from a guy who's a big businessman in Australia, who builds, you might see the big cattle transports, Burn trailers. Well, Mick Byrne's a very good friend of mine, and he totally revolutionised the livestock industry transport in Australia. He did incredibly well. And he always said, as he used to put it, when you find you are up a dry gully, get out of it. Don't keep trying to say, I've got to be right, all of this and all of that.
I'm going to add that to the program.
If you're up a dry gully, just turn around right now.
Probably one of the most important things that I learned.
If it's not working, it's not working.
Every indication is telling you you're wrong. Admit it.
It's so true, and that's a really good part of this process, because you're doing that with other people and you're kind of like testing your assumptions. So there's a whole part of it where you say, what are my assumptions, if proved wrong, would cause this to fail? And so because you do that so early on in this program, you're saving yourself a whole lot of time.
Look, if you ask me what is the most singular thing that you've learned, it's that. Get out of that dry gully.
Get out of that dry gully.
So can I just quickly say goodnight? I'm a diabetic. I need to eat.
No worries. Thanks for coming, Tom.
Or something rather than some stage.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Oh, well done. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that.
I'm sorry I don't pack these better for you, but
We've got the plastic over there. We'll be right.
Don't get upset.
No.
thank you all very much for having me.
Thank you. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. Take it easy.
Cheers.
And don't forget to have a drink with your dinner.
Oh, could be a little whiskey bottle up there, might need a cork test.
Oh, that's awesome, Gabby. Thank you so much. I want an idea now so I can come along. I'm going to have to think of something.
I think you will.
Yeah. Good night, Tom. Good night. Oh,
I'm
okay.
going to a dry gully in the same way again.
Now I know.
Thanks, I'm going to run too.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Steve. Thank you, everyone.